Want an edge for betting the Super Bowl? Click the link in the description to download VSiN's free betting guide.
Do you want to talk about the most popular bets so you can at least understand what may or may not be moving come tomorrow? Because, again, this is something that my account is – I can't say it's not done. I think my account is not done. I think that my portfolio is not done. That said, maybe none of these things that I've been waiting on to bet unders on get to the number that I think, and then it's just not going to manifest. But the whole thought for me is I'm going to be waiting to see if some of these super popular players get steamed tomorrow at any point during the day when the vast majority, like we said, yes, there's been money coming in. Half the money has not even come into the market yet. Most of these people don't bet. Most people do not bet early. They come in, the day of the game stuff. You'll see. There'll be lines. Any sports book you go to, lines as far as you can see. Some people firing up their apps for the first time. And so I can't say for sure that I'm not done because, again, if this stuff doesn't happen that I need to happen, then I'm probably done. But I imagine I'll add a couple tomorrow.
I will take minus 110. You are not done.
At the very least, there'll be some wacky same-game parlay just to have like something to sweat.
You're going to show me like an SGP you bet 1 minute before the game when we're watching it together in the second half. There'll be something else coming into your account. But it is interesting when you look at these most popular props and you look at, like, for instance, the quarterback props. We've seen the Purdy over half an interception. That's your most popular prop. We've seen that consistently go up from a juice perspective. Obviously, that's never going to 1 or 1.5. It'll always stay at a half and get juiced. But Mahomes was one of the guys that we expected to go up as the week went on. He's really been stagnant now that we hit that 261.5 number, even though 2 of the 5 props are over his passing yards. However, they're alt overs. So over 200 at minus 600, over 225 at minus 295. So people going for more of the slam dunk on the prop side than the actual number.
And what this tells us, these are getting stuck in SGPs. And like, so people are going in and they're just like playing the smaller side of the line. And that's what they're plugging into the same game parlay. Interesting that the over of an interception is the most popular passing prop. And then the over of 1.5 pass touchdowns for Purdy, it's the second most popular. So not only do you think he's going to throw a pick, but you also think he's going to throw a couple touchdown passes as well.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by the second one, although he has thrown 2 touchdown passes in quite a few football games this year. So not absolutely shocked by it. You just expect that you're going to get McCaffrey when they get to the goal line, that he is going to get run. So you would need at least one longer touchdown, most likely, for Purdy to go over that touchdown and a half. I wouldn't be shocked again if that's the same game thing. Over with both quarterbacks over a touchdown and a half pass, very popular same game parlay play.
You're going to love this one. Let's get to the receiving props. And the number one receiving prop, the number one bet receiving prop is Kyle Juszczyk. Over a half a reception. I'm not making this up.
Well, someone on this desk gave this out.
Not this fella.
At minus 120 last week.
Here it is, minus 160. You're now, if you want this one, you got to just put it in a same game parlay. You can't. We can't let you do.
I'd rather have the over 4.5 yards.
Yeah, like we can't let you do. We can't let you do minus 160.
No, juice is not worth the squeeze.
Yes, no, we can't let you do that.
Hey, shocker! Next 4, Kelsey.
Yeah, exactly. Next 4 are Kelsey. These are definitely a couple of them that are going to be in same game parlays, which is the 50 plus and the 60 plus. But they are betting over on his 70.5, which is pretty interesting because we've now seen that kind of tick down to 68.5. So since we've put this graphic together, somebody's come in on the other side of some of these really popular bets.
Well, it's important to note these are the most tickets, not the most money.
Yep.
So you could have a large ticket count to the over, you could have a big bet to the under, and you see the number move.
So Kelsey over 6.5 receptions, juiced all the way out to 166. We knew that was, we saw that kind of happening last week whenever we were talking about this with you guys. Said that's probably one of those you got to look at an over or just put it in again like a Kelsey has a good game, same game parlay, and then go from there. But again, it's just once you're getting into this, let's talk juice here. When it comes to props for me at this point, I'm 130 is about where I'll go. I mean, 140 if it's an under that I'm really, really excited about because there's more paths to under than there are overs. So I'm willing to expand a little bit on the juice whenever I'm betting an under. But an over, again, like an over 6.5 receptions at minus 166, we can't do that because there is just, it's a violent game. Like, I mean, like it's there. I understand Kelsey's a big dude and he doesn't get hurt very often and all, but I mean, once you start laying 166 to the juice, Mike, it's still a guy that is going to be running and have 250-pound guys trying to like take his legs out from underneath him.
That's a fact.
You know?
I will play props up to -200, but I will not play over 6.5 receptions to -200, right? It would have to be specific players, generally be lower totals, so like over a half reception, things like that, which need a single outcome to happen. I would look to those in some cases as -200 to throw an interception, to not throw an interception. Those would be props that I would consider up to that number. But again, I'd have to feel like I have such an edge that I'm still making a profitable bet at -200. At 6.5 receptions, it's hard to make the case you are making a profitable bet at -166. Because you're essentially saying he has to do this almost 2/3 of the time for you to be able to make money. That's not easy to do at 6.5, like you said, when you also have, I'm not saying Kelsey's like may get injured, but it has to at least be in the back of your head.
Right.
Oh, by the way, the game script here also could be against Kelsey if they get an early lead and they're just feeding Pacheco, which I know you like.
Yeah, this is one of the things where, in props, you do have to take into account, we never wish for anyone to get injured, but we also have to understand that that's a reality of the sport and that this is a violent game. And so that's why when I say that there's more paths to an under than there is to an over, there's always more paths to an under because, one, we already said, we expect Kelsey to get extra attention. Now, is it going to translate into him not getting catches? We don't know. Kelsey and Mahomes have this special connection. They've been able to figure things out for a long time, but there's at least a path in which there is guy basically, getting double teamed the entire game and just, gets frustrated and can't get anything going. And then also, like we said, I mean, people get their ankles rolled up on. People like whatever. Like it's not even your fault sometimes. When you get injured, like somebody falls backwards, your knee bends sideways. It's just so there's all different ways that you can get under. And so for me, 166, there's just no way. I could play an under up to like 150, 160, something like that, but I typically will not play an over at that type of juice.
Well, especially for receptions. I mean, that is not an easy. You can't even like have, I think he's going to have a long catch, so I'll take the over yards, right, where you get that juice to the moon. Well, this is a situation where he has to have 7 plays where he catches the football. That's not easy in a football game.
It is definitely not. Rushing props, wow.
Yeah, your boy.
Look at mine. That's why it's up to 12.5. I got I have a Purdy over 11.5 in my account. That's the #1 bet prop so far.
You feel good or bad about that?
I mean, I'm okay with it. It's fine. McCaffrey 100+ rush and receiving. That's again part of a same game parlay for sure. People aren't laying 330. McCaffrey over 89.5. We know that is his line and currently still his line over 89.5. Rushing yards. Pacheco 50+. That's an SGP stuff. -295 on that one. Then Pacheco over his just typical yardage coming in as the 5th most bet prop. How surprising. The quarterback rushing line is the most has the highest ticket count as of the making of this graphic.
I am surprised Mahomes isn't on this graphic too.
Yeah.
Mahomes over 25.5 rushing yards a prop. I've heard a lot of people give out. When you watch games like the Super Bowl, you see him running all over the place. We've seen it every time he's been in a Super Bowl. Surprised that one's not more bet in this situation. Think it's interesting. Everything's over on that one, right? And rushing, you don't have anyone taking the unders there. And generally, you're going to see overs more bet than unders, obviously, in these props. But little surprised that the McCaffrey over 89.5 is that high up. I thought Pacheco would be ahead of McCaffrey based on the people that we have talked to and what we've heard. But clearly, the general public liking the McCaffrey side.
No real surprise here in the touchdown market. Anytime touchdown, Christian McCaffrey, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, Deebo Samuel, Patrick Mahomes. Pretty chalky other than the Mahomes at 5th because, again, he doesn't really sneak all that much. And remember, that's when he got hurt a few years ago, and they have almost eliminated the sneak altogether. So you basically need a busted play for him to kind of scramble from 3 yards out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It has to be like from 3 yards out. He ain't running for a 25-yard touchdown out of the blue, right? It's going to be a shorter touchdown if he goes for it. By far the least that I like on that list is Mahomes.
First touchdown, Travis Kelce 7-1, Christian McCaffrey +360, Pacheco +650, 11-1 on Rashee Rice is the fourth most bet first touchdown, then Deebo Samuel at 9-1. Listen, Kelce at 7-1, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Give me the Noah Grays of the world. Give me the 25, 30-1s. Give me an MVS.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.